In the early years of America, when the world was racing toward modern miracles, a quiet glow shimmered inside small factories across New Jersey, Illinois, and other towns. The light came from radium, a new wonder element that promised beauty, healing, and progress. It shone like stardust on watches and instruments meant to guide soldiers through the darkness of war. And inside those buildings, young women worked with a sense of pride, as though they were touching the future with their fingertips. They walked into the factories with hope in their eyes. Many were barely out of school, their families often depended on them, and these jobs paid more than anything they could find: a steady wage, a respected skill, a clean position, and a magical glow that clung to their dresses, their hair, their laughter. They worked in long rows, dipping brushes into tiny pots of luminous paint, shaping the tip with their lips in a practice motion taught by their supervisors. The technique was called lip dip. Painted kept the brush fine and sharp, and it was said to be completely safe. The girls believed what they were told. They trusted their managers, they trusted the companies, they trusted the scientists who praised radium as a miracle element. People claimed it increased vitality, restored youth, even cured sickness. Some drank radium water as a health tonic, some applied radium creams for glowing skin. After work, the girls would giggle and paint their nails with the glowing substance, tracing little stars that flickered in the dark. They did not know that the same glow would one day be the signal of something terribly wrong. In the beginning, the work felt joyful. Their spirits were high, the factories filled with singing as they painted each number with patient hands. At night, they walked home shining faintly, like drifting fireflies, delighting children who pointed at their radiant silhouettes. They felt special, as if touched by a light the world had never seen. Yet in the quiet spaces where science brushed up against profit, the truth was sinking into their bones in a way no one would admit. Time moved gently. At first, the years passed with a soft rhythm of routine, but then small signs began to appear: a toothache, a bruise that did not heal, a tiredness that lingered. Without reason, the girls pushed on. They needed their wages, they needed to help their families. They did not imagine that the work they took so proudly could be the source of their slow unraveling. One girl felt a sharp ache in her jaw as she chewed bread. She thought it might be a cavity. She visited a dentist. He touched her gums and they crumbled under his fingers, leaving him pale and speechless. Another girl noticed a soreness in her leg, thinking she had strained a muscle. Then her bones snapped while she was simply standing still, her body weakening from the inside, as if some invisible hand was quietly hollowing her out. Doctors were puzzled. Some whispered guesses that made no sense. Others repeated the company's assurances that radium was harmless. A few blamed the girls for their own suffering, accusing them of false behavior or immoral disease. These insults wounded them more deeply than the pain in their bodies. But the girls began to understand that something was wrong, something serious, something hidden behind closed doors and carefully guarded truths. One by one, their health spiraled downward. Their teeth fell out, their jaws softened until they could be pressed like clay. Their hips broke, their spines bowed. They lost weight, they lost strength, they lost the glow of life. They were wasting away, while the factories kept their doors open and hired new girls to replace the ones who had vanished from the workrooms. The companies insisted there was no danger. They dismissed the sick women. They denied responsibility. They hired their own doctors who declared the girls healthy or blamed their ailments on personal failings. Evidence was lost, reports vanished, testimony was twisted. Nothing seemed to break the wall of silence that protected profits over people. But inside this darkness, a few women refused to be forgotten. Grace, Friar, thin but determined, walked from one lawyer to the next, seeking someone brave enough to take her case. Most turned her away. The companies were powerful, and she was just one woman weakened by illness. But Grace held on to a belief that truth should not be buried. She kept searching until she found a voice that would carry hers into the world. Other women joined her: Catherine Donahue from Illinois, frail yet fierce, with a heart that burned brighter than the radium ever had. These women were dying, but they chose to spend their last strength fighting for justice. They were bedridden, they struggled to breathe, they swallowed pain each hour, yet they signed paperwork, they gave interviews, they testified even when their voices trembled. In courtrooms, people first saw what radium had done to them. Their bones had been eaten by the very substance they once believed was harmless. Their bodies were riddled with holes, their blood was poisoned, their fate was sealed. But their words still carried power. They told their stories with tenderness and truth. They spoke of laughter in the factory halls. They spoke of dances and dreams. They spoke of watching those dreams break one piece at a time. The judges listened, the public listened, the world listened. Slowly, the wall of denial began to crack. Newspapers spread the truth. Scientists spoke up. Legislation shifted. The courts ruled that the companies could not hide behind lies and silence. The Radium Girls, as they were now known, became symbols of courage. Their suffering changed safety laws. It forced industries to value the lives of workers. It inspired labor protections that continue to shield millions. Today, their voices traveled far beyond their own time, across the years, across the generations. And even though many of them did not live to see the victory with their own eyes, their story has never dimmed. People still whisper their names with reverence, because these women did not fight for money or revenge. They fought so that no other worker would walk unknowingly into danger. They fought so that truth could breathe, even in a world tempted by secrecy and greed. They fought so that those who follow would stand stronger, safer, wiser. Imagine Grace Fryer sitting by her window, sunlight touching her cheek, as she signs another affidavit with trembling hands, knowing her time is short, but her purpose is full. Imagine Catherine Donahue lying in her bed, unable to stand, yet speaking with a calm resolve that moves an entire courtroom. Imagine their co-workers remembering the glow on their dresses, the glow that once felt magical, and how it transformed into a warning that echoed louder than fear. Their courage was not loud, it was not glamorous, it was the courage of ordinary women who held on to hope. Even as their bodies failed them, it was the courage of workers who believed their lives were worth protecting. It was the courage of people who dared to speak. When others demanded silence, they glowed in the darkness of their age, not with radium, but with a light of truth so powerful it could not be extinguished. Today, when we hear the phrase Radium Girls, we are not thinking of tragedy alone, we are thinking of legacy. We are thinking of the women who changed the world while the world was trying to forget them. We are thinking of the quiet glow left behind by their bravery, a glow that guides us away from danger, a glow that reminds us to question, to protect, to honor human life above all profit. Their story is not only about suffering, it is about strength, it is about unity, it is about people who loved their families, loved their futures, and refused to let injustice take everything from them. Their spirit still moves like a soft light in the distance, calling us to remember, calling us to care, calling us to act. So when you imagine those factories lit by the gentle shimmer of radium, think of the young women who stepped inside with hope. Think of the laughter that filled the rooms. Think of the glow on their lips as they shaped their brushes. Think of the dreams they carried home. Think of the trust they gave so freely. Think of how that trust was betrayed. And then think of how they rose beyond betrayal and changed history. They were more than workers. They were daughters, sisters, wives, friends, dreamers, fighters. They were women who carried light in their hands and then carried justice in their hearts. Their legacy is a lantern that still burns, guiding every workplace law, every safety rule, every protection for workers across the nation. The Radium Girls did not live long lives, but the impact of their courage will endure for generations. They turned their suffering into a beacon for others. They turned their final days into a promise that no one would again be left to face such danger in silence. Their story is grief and power, sorrow and triumph. It is a reminder that even in great darkness, the human spirit can shine brighter than any element ever discovered. And so their glow remains not the toxic shimmer of radium, but the steadfast light of truth, the gentle fire of justice, the brave radiance of women who walked into the unknown and chose to fight for every life that would come after them.
Subscribe for more insights and let's grow together.